Here we are at the back of one of our cars waiting to get into Camp Ashraf, which is a camp that an Iranian opposition group have had in Iraq for well over 20 years. And essentially this is the day that the Iraqi government has decided that they must leave this camp and be relocated elsewhere. It's taken a lot to get to this position, to get here. We're still not quite in the camp yet. A lot of security checks, a lot of security forces standing around us. We are waiting to see what happens next. We hope to get into the camp shortly. It will be the first time CNN cameras have been inside this camp, and we understand that there are roughly over 3,500 members of this group here, the People's Mujahideen of Iraq, or Mujahideen Khalq as they're known. So we're going to go in and see what kind of situation they have in there, what kind of living standards, just what the arrangements have been over the last 20 odd years, and we'll bring you more details.
Welcome to a very orchestrated visit, but at least you've got a visit.
Yeah,
which is more than anybody else has got. Do you know how many correspondents have tried to do the story?
Finally in the camp, we've just come through the gates. Quite elaborate of our statue right at the gates back there with a gold lion on it. It had said something along the lines of solidarity. We're just driving in now to the heart of the camp, going by lots of buildings, fenced off, but we're really going to get a proper look at things when we stop. We're being led by Iraqi security forces. Not quite sure where we're going, but we shall soon find out. Alright then, we just jumped into the back of a truck because we're not allowed to get into the camp proper in our own cars, in our own civilian cars, if you want to call them that. So as you can see, the crew and several other crews are all in this truck, and we're about to make our way down. There was just a kind of impromptu press conference, if you want to call it, that with some members of Camp Ashraf sharing with the media their views on this forced eviction, and they say they don't want to leave. We're now going into the camp proper, where these cars with loudspeakers are going to read out a statement and basically say to them the Iraqi government is committed to moving them from this place. We'll just see what happens. Right now, the residents are very clear. They do not want to leave. We do not know whether force will be used in the coming days. We'll wait to see what happens.
You know why? Because it's more than 22 years that we are here. Here is my home. You know, I ask you if they can, if somebody can tell you. You see, in the European countries, everywhere, more than 20 years, they ask you are the resistance of that country. How they can ask us to live here?
It's really a difficult position that a journalist finds themselves in when you are surrounded by people who are obviously in a lot of distress for whatever reason, and they desperately want to get their story out to you. And that's what we do with this job. We get people's stories out. We get both sides of the stories out. And it's just been... it's a day where, we would like to spend more time here. We'd like to get more of a sense of the kind of lives people live here. But our time is not our own. Our time is being very closely guarded and structured by the Iraqi authorities. But it was a rare chance, a very rare opportunity that you heard from the women of Camp Ashraf, hearing their side, hearing their stories.